At DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid. If you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices. We'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands. Or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
Whenever I need to send roses that are guaranteed to make someone's day, the only place I trust is 1-800-Flowers.com. With 1-800-Flowers, my friends and family always receive stunning, high-quality bouquets that they absolutely love. Right now, when you buy a dozen multicolored roses, 1-800-Flowers will double your bouquet to 2 dozen roses. To claim this special double roses offer, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/SXM. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/SXM.
Welcome to the Odds Breakers, number one place for shared, sharp betting information.
Welcome back to podcast 80 of 2025. I'm your host, Kiev O'Neill. Follow me on Twitter at OBKiev. Follow us at the Odds Breakers. Follow us on social media / the Odds Breakers. This episode is being brought to you by FanDuel Sports, a proud partner of the NFL. If you'd like to support the Odds Breakers and benefit from our premium plays, please visit theoddsbreakers.com, click shop, become a member. Again, winning cappers get the premium plays before the line moves. You can also support us on patreon.com. If nothing else, please visit the Odds Breakers to become a free picks and Telegram subscriber. What a crazy weekend of football. Got my ass kicked in college 2 weeks in a row now. Pissed. Dogs just not coming through. Freaking massive chokes. Super massive chokes on some of these road teams too. And the old referee fiasco continues to be annoying. Did great in the NFL minus the teasers. For some reason, my teasers went to shit this year. I can't explain how that happened, but I lost 3 of them. I lost the refuse to lose teaser, which is now 3-3. So my sides all hit, which was awesome. One total I lost, the Cardinals one. But little recap. Yeah, Indiana beat Oregon. I kind of felt pretty good about that Indiana side. It was one of them that, I usually lose this bet. Especially the 5-year-old 5 years ago and more, Kiev would grab a ugly dog, like not even ugly, a good team dog against a great team that ends up kicking their ass, right? I fail on that more often than not. A lot of times it's been my Badgers I bet on the past when they go against a Michigan or Ohio State or something, and then just end up getting blown out. Sometimes the stats for these teams aren't full games, so these teams are actually better than the efficiency stuff. So that comes into fruition. But I felt good about this because I just felt like Indiana has now become the Oregon. They have become the Michigan. Now, not for the long term. Just this year. I am not putting them in the powerhouse football schools just yet. But for God frickin' sake, when you see Kirk Cincinnati just kicking massive ass over there, and then you have Fickle frickin' getting his ass completely kicked and putting this program back to the 1970s, it certainly hurts when you're an alumni and a fan. The Red River shootout was not much of a shootout. Was more of a snooze fest. I had it on a TV. Didn't really watch a ton of it. I focused on the other games more. I had nothing on that game. But it just felt to me that Mateer wasn't freaking ready. That Texas defense was motivated, And he shouldn't have played. You had an excuse without him, man. Don't play him. Take the L, and you're still in the playoff hunt. And now maybe his confidence is shook. Maybe maybe he re-aggravated something that we don't even know about. I was against him playing, but he played anyway, which was really surprising to me. Week started well with East Carolina plus 7.5. Numbers mattered in that game as it went to 7. Massive PI brought the Tulane right next to the end zone. There's nothing you can do there. I was hoping for a field goal for some of the people that got it at 6.5, but yeah, one of those situations. San Jose State, massive choke was on them, up, and then allow 3 scores in a row at the very end, and all in the fourth quarter to Wyoming, winning by 2 or 3 touchdowns. That was one of the chokes. How about Cincinnati's choke against UCF? 4th and 15, just a little bit of contact on the waist. Shit happens almost every play, and then you call it. A 4th and 15 you're going to bail UCF out of. Get the touchdown, and then they get a 2-point conversion. So anyone that had minus 10 got fucked. Yeah, it was really ugly for some of those sides I was on. Georgia, Auburn. Everyone's talking about the touchdown, the tip ball. No one's talking about the fact that Georgia was lined up off sides, like 2 or 3 players' helmets were in the football. How about calling a real flag in that situation? So even if first of all, you're the home team, you review that, you can see the ball hitting the end line before it was knocked. All right, I'm sorry, you can. It's hard to see it. I mean, it's a miracle that you can see it, but at home, you're supposed to get the benefit of the doubt. But man, Kirby Smart, working those refs, that was unreal. The Alabama-Missouri game, the targeting. So he didn't hit him with his helmet, yet you called him for targeting, yet the Penn State versus Oregon, 2 of them weren't? I mean, that really hurt Missouri during the game, but there was all kinds of crap going on in that game as well. Lots of complaining. Lots of texts I'm getting from people. I'm glad that more people are more on board now with calling this shit out so it can get fixed. Eye in the sky at a central location fixes it in 5 seconds. So quick they can get it done. Every play should have it. Just quick correct it. Simple. 5 to 10 minute reviews makes no freaking sense whatsoever, but they don't want to. And it's kind of the NFL's fault, really, because they just follow what they do. A bunch of owners that really don't even understand the game of football. Otherwise, you'd be getting a much better product. Penn State didn't hesitate to hire or fire James Franklin. How ugly is that? And it was because of his actions, I think, with the reporter. It wasn't just the losses, but that just tipped it. You're with the reporter. The reporter's like, hey, man, why don't you just throw the ball up a little bit, have your receivers make a play? My skin hurts. I'm so frustrated that we never have done throw the ball up in the air. He's just being a cocky freaking prick. Dude, one-on-one, there's always a quarterback letting his receiver have a chance to make a freaking play. I see Jeremiah Smith do it all the time with Ohio State. I see all the big receivers get that opportunity. When it's one-on-one, you throw them the ball. You throw it in the air and they make a play. That's a common thing. Quit acting like the reporter's an idiot because you're an idiot. You mismanaged this Penn State team and now you're fired. Adidas comes with a freaking suitcase and buys out your $50 million freaking dollars.
Where's my money, bitch?
Maybe Franklin should get into being a reporter or analyst, whatever. Maybe he should be an analyst. He's got the money now. Anyways, that was needed. I wish somebody with a suitcase of money would show up to Wisconsin and buy Fickle's whatever million it is. It's going to be $28 million after the season. I think it's like $40 million right now.
You're fired.
I wish, man. NFL, Callahan got fired. Favorites went 11-1, 7-5 against the spread. Survivors loving this week. Of course, we were on the Packers too. I plan on going out this week because I'm going to probably make a bold move. I can't take Kansas City because I need them for Christmas. Maybe the thing ends before Christmas. You never know. I mean, maybe taking Kansas City smart because everyone's going to be freaking out the way things are going by Christmas, you know? I mean, that's what Survivor does to you. It makes you think of all those situations. But, yeah, it's just a tough week coming up for me. The plays that we hit on were the Cardinals plus the 6.5, and I hit it again at 7.5. Glad I did that. They were just as good as the Colts, really. You know, I like the Colts. I don't love the Colts. We hit Seattle money line. That hit. We hit Carolina wins outright. The free play that we gave out. That was fun. The Raiders, we laid 5.5. They won by 10. Got a bad number really on that. Thing went down to 4-ish, 3.5 in some spots. Just the teasers really screwed me. Detroit's teaser leg, ugh, that was awful. And San Fran's teaser leg was awful too. 2 awful teaser legs. The good, the bad, and the ugly of the weekend, and play to go around good. Cam Scattaboo, Jesus, best running back in the draft. That's right, folks. Best running back in the frickin' draft. I've been calling for him all year long. And Jackson Dart, pretty good too, but he's going to get killed. Dayball is just running him like he does not get tackled well. He's getting banged up. Whew. He's going to get killed the way Dayball used him. It's a great way of using a quarterback because you win games doing it. It's a threat of the pass and the run. But shit, man, if you don't go down right, you get hurt. Even Lamar gets hurt. You know, Lamar's been out a couple weeks. I think that USF is still scoring against North Texas, where they get to 69 points. It was good. Damon Williams, smoking Rutgers. Really smoked those boys. The Houston kicker, Sanchez, he's got that swag got to him. He's always cheering up and down. Houston Cougars kicker. He's something else. He's going to be in the pros. He's good. He's also marketing himself pretty dang well. UCLA come and kicked up my ass. I thought Michigan State was in a good spot. I guess Jonathan Smith is taking a hit in my coaching rankings too now. You know, he was way better at Oregon, it seemed. Oregon State, I mean. What the hell happened over at Michigan State? Little brother is still a little brother. Of course, Kirk Cignetti, but not just the offense for Indiana. It's their defense. They just look great. Surratt, dude, what a freaking beast of a receiver. Just absolute freaking beast. You know? Jacoby Brissett, he actually did really well. I think he did as good as Kyler Murray or better. Now, is that sustainable? Probably not. You can tell how immobile the dude is. You know, Kyler's a little bit more dynamic, but Brissett can see over his offensive line. You know, there's something to that. Joe Flacco, I was a little worried with a 6-point lead there with the Packers. I'm like, you freaking punt this ball and we're losing this game. They're in 4-down territory. They're going to take the thing all the way down there. I was a little worried for that Survivor, 50-some% of people. And I was just, that was a great spot for the Packers, but shit. Flacco covered. Sure as hell covered. The Chiefs are good. They're better than last year, I think. But there's just so much to say about them. How about the bad? LA Tech losing their quarterback early in the game. I made that bet and I lost it. And, you know, maybe I was on the wrong side. Anyway, but that quarterback going out sure took the air out of the team. Eagles run defense. I think Scattaboo's still running against them over 100 yards. How about Mr. Scattaboo and Kelsey? Jason Kelsey taking their shirts off like a bunch of freaking heathens. I mean, is that a good look for the NFL? I mean, it's very guyish. You know, I understand it, and I can get a little rowdy sometimes myself, but it's like, I don't know. Is that the kind of image you're looking for. It doesn't feel like they're looking for that image in the NFL, but it's funny that they did it. That's all. Michigan State makes the bad. They suck. Sean Foster, possibly the worst coach in history, according to Will Hill's post. That was really funny. Maybe he is, dude, because now UCLA's kicking ass. UMass. God, you're bad. Way bad. Got blown out by Kent State. How bad do you have to downgrade them? Auburn's second half, 50 total yards or something like that in the second half. What the fuck was that? Hugh Freeze. Now, they were shell-shocked because of the poor calls. And there was poor calls the whole damn game. And I still think you could have put up a little bit more yards than that. John Mateer was bad. As I mentioned, the Browns, freaking Browns, can't cover. Browns can't cover against the Steelers. Trying to put in Shedeur Sanders, my number one quarterback ranked in the draft. I mean, it's not looking so good for Tennessee. Cam Ward right now. It's not looking so good for anybody, except Jackson Dart. Teasers, bad. Georgia. Dude, Kirby Smart just annoys me. How do you work a ref and just convince him that something happened in the past and then them adjust it for you, like a timeout, right? You know? Freaking mind-blowing.
Come to DSW for the shoes, stay for the fun. Because let's be honest, if shoe shopping isn't fun, are you even doing it right? So go ahead, try something new. Try something different. Good different. Try something that feels like you. You know, the real you. And then definitely brag about it later. Because at DSW, you've got unlimited freedom to play. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW. Let us surprise you.
Confronting high credit card debt can feel scary. But the good news is, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, financial relief options are now available. National Debt Relief is currently offering debt relief designed to reduce what you owe, fast-tracking your way to being debt-free. If you qualify for debt relief, you may be able to pay back significantly less than what you owe and save thousands of dollars. Imagine only paying one low monthly program payment you can afford and saving money as you become debt-free. National Debt Relief has already helped bring debt relief to over 550,000 U.S. consumers, earning thousands of five-star reviews and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. You're stronger than your credit card debt. Take the first step and visit nationaldebtrelief.com to see what debt relief you qualify for. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Weight loss solutions are not one size fits all. Hers makes it simpler to get started and stick with a weight loss plan backed by expert-guided online care that puts your weight loss goals first. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full up front. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com. Apply.
Time for the ugly. The Phillies, last pitch, that pitch error, could have just got the third out throwing it to first, and you threw it home and just shanked it. What a choke on that. I feel bad for him. But, dude, that's the way you're going out. That's rough. And plus, you win that game, you go back home, dude. Go back home. Shit. Then the freaking Cubs can't hit the ball. You know that last game against the Brewers? That was ugly because not one base runner scored. It was just all single home runs that game. 3-1? And, I mean, you got to be better than that. You got to hit the ball, man. I know it's a pitcher's league now and it's all important, but, got to hit the ball, dude. The targeting on Missouri's defense was extremely ugly, as you know. Very discussed on Twitter. The refs in Ohio State and Bama's kind of been bad, and Georgia. It's like Ohio State's guys hold a lot on defense. I still am his number one team, but they get away with murder in the Big Ten. The big names get away with murder. It's just the way they want it, man. It sucks. Oklahoma State. Why did I bet them plus 14.5? Dude, they're up 7-0. Thought I was good. Holy shit, did they choke? That is a bad fucking team. That is a bad team. Ole Miss almost losing to Washington State. Thought I lost Survivor. Then Ole Miss wins. And then my other Survivor pick that you have to make 2 every week. Penn State loses outright to Northwestern.
Fucking bullshit!
I mean, it's just how it went out. You know, I Penn State, after the UCLA fucking loss, Northwestern at home. Drew Allard makes the ugly because he broke his leg. He probably should have went out in the draft last year. It would have been Perbula there. Everything just spun out. But hey, good for Perbula for getting the hell out of there. 4th down runs to the cover for UCF. I mean, it was all 4th downs the whole freaking time, and they just get all the way to the end. And then Cincinnati fumbles the ball when they could have scored the 1 or 2 drives before that. Fumbles at the end zone. Just utterly pathetic. That should have been a cover. Really rough beat on that one. Oklahoma State, I already said that. Wisconsin's first home shutout since 1980. 1980. Okay. That is a long time. And then you get shut out at home. First time in 45 years. You know? What the hell was that, man? That's just so bad. San Jose State's choke, as I mentioned earlier. Luke Fickell. I already talked about him. Callahan fired is great. Tua. How about Tua's interview? Yeah, you know, the team's just not really together. Some people are late to meetings. Some people don't even show up. I mean, he clearly wants McDaniel out of there. Tua talking massive shit. But at the same time, Tua, maybe you be a freaking leader. Big crybaby. Do something yourself. You know? You think Tom Brady would put up with shit like that? He'd be kicking people off the damn team. You know? That's the kind of leader you have to be, Tua. Christ. Finally, the most ugliest thing I already mentioned. James Franklin finally gets fired at Penn State.
200,000 in gold. They always just get me water.
All right, now it's time for a little college football. Week 6, actually Week 7. Misleading final scores. Kennesaw State only outgained LA Tech 400 to 305, yet won 35 to 7. Bad quarterback injury, Blake Baker, and terrible red zone defense got the Bulldogs. Jacksonville State outgained Sam Houston 499 to 286 and only won 29 to 27. Equal turnovers at 1-1, but terrible red zone and special teams hurt the Gamecocks. Fresno State outgained Colorado State 469 to 334 and lost 49 to 21. Disgusting 4-0 turnover ratio and 13 penalties chained the Bulldogs. UCF outgained Cincinnati 413 to 306, yet lost 20 to 11. A 1-0 turnover ratio and bad passing got the Knights. It was just the quarterback was bad until, of course, the end when he backdoored you. Toledo outgained Bowling Green 429 to 226, yet lost 28 to 23 to 2-0 turnover ratio. Poor special teams and 4th down efficiency got the Rockets. Illinois outgained Ohio State 295 to 272, yet lost 34 to 16. A terrible 3-0 turnover ratio and poor red zone defense got the Illini. Marshall only outgained Old Dominion 445 to 439 by 6 yards and won 48 to 24. A nasty 5-0 turnover ratio did it in the Monarchs. You could tell James Madison didn't cover. Old Dominion lost outright. These guys were looking ahead to each other next week, right? Looking ahead to each other. What the hell's that line at, by the way? James Madison. 1.5. Okay. Interesting. All right. Iowa State outgained Colorado 441 to 395, yet lost 24 to 17, a 1-0 turnover ratio and bad red zone. Got the clones. Temple outgained Navy 518 to 384, yet lost 32 to 31, a rough 1-0 turnover ratio. Got the Owls. Purdue outgained Minnesota 456 to 232, yet lost 27 to 20, a huge 4-1 turnover ratio and 9 penalties choked the Boilers, and they were winning most of that game. And TCU outgained Kansas State 448 to 343, yet lost 41 to 28, a 3-0 turnover ratio. Got them Froggies. Another loss of mine, TCU. College football betting spots, letdown spots. Bowling Green hosting Central Michigan after the Toledo win is 1. Northwestern hosting Purdue after the Big Ten Penn State win. Right? That's for sure 1. Marshall hosting Texas State after the big Old Dominion win is 1. Also, get up spots. Toledo hosting Kent State after the rivalry loss. Pitt at Syracuse after the big Florida State win. Wisconsin hosting Ohio State after a terrible shutout at home. Duke can start messing things up for Georgia Tech. That's a big get up spot too. Ole Miss at Georgia after almost losing to Wazoo. SMU may take some revenge out on Clemson for last year's championship game. So you remember that crap that we had to watch. And Tulane, a revenge spot against Army from the American Athletic Conference Championship last year. Wink, wink on Tulane, by the way. Look ahead spots. UCLA looking past Maryland to Indiana is possible. South Florida looking past FAU to Memphis is there. Memphis looking past UAB to South Florida is also possible. Not a ton of look aheads really this week. Short rest. Sam Houston on 6 days rest hosting UTEP. Jacksonville State on 6 days hosting Delaware, and Liberty on 6 days rest hosting New Mexico State. Long rest. South Florida with an extra day of rest hosting FAU. Tulane with an extra day of rest hosting Army. Rutgers with an extra day of rest hosting Oregon. Washington with an extra day of rest at Michigan. North Texas with an extra day of rest hosting UTSA. Colorado State with an extra day of rest hosting Hawaii. South Florida with an extra day of rest hosting FAU. Oh, I said that already. Tulsa off the bye hosting East Carolina. Baylor off the bye at TCU. Buffalo off the bye at UMass. Central Michigan off the bye at Bowling Green. Did I mention Bowling Green? Yeah, I did. Delaware off the bye at Jacksonville State. Mississippi State off the bye at Florida. New Mexico State off the bye at Liberty. Ohio off the bye hosting Northern Illinois. Syracuse off the bye hosting Pitt. UConn off the bye at Boston College. Vanderbilt off the bye hosting LSU. Virginia off the bye hosting Wazoo. And West Virginia off the bye at UCF. Now a little NFL. Misleading final scores from week 6. I wish there wasn't 2 Monday night games. Jeez, it kind of... I added to the article, but I can't say it on the podcast. The Broncos outgained the Jets 246 to 82. Yet only won 13 to 11. 1-0 turnover ratio. Even Steven officiating, trying to keep the games close, and poor Red Zone got the Broncos spread. The Ravens' yards were mainly garbage time, so forget that one. The Cardinals outgained the Colts 400 to 355, yet lost 31 to 27. Equal turnovers, but biased officiating got the Cards. And the 49ers outgained the Buccaneers 363 to 352, yet lost 30 to 19. A rough 2-0 turnover ratio. Poor fourth down efficiency got the 49ers. I forgot to add Baker Mayfield to my good, too. Wow, was that kid good. I mean, he's losing all his receivers, and he's still an absolute beast. He goes unconscious, I guess, out there, according to some of the players. It's kind of funny. All right, NFL Week 7 betting spots, letdown spots. The Giants could be soft at the Broncos after the big Eagles win. The Chiefs might rest easy hosting the Raiders after the big Lions win. I'm not saying they're not going to get up for a division game, but, it's the Raiders. The Panthers at the Jets after the big Cowboys win is 1. Get up spots, Titans. Head coach fired angle, but the Patriots have a coach revenge angle to counter it. I mean, that Callahan firing, he's a terrible coach, but geez, how could you not tell that from before? He lived off Joe Burrow, but don't get me wrong, it's not like Tom Brady. Not like a lot of people didn't live off Tom Brady's success either. The Cardinals better rise up after losing 3 in a row against the Packers. Those are the 2 get-up spots, I guess. Patriots versus Tennessee, I just feel like that cancels each other's out. So I'm just kind of looking at the Cardinals here. The NFL's weird this year. Look ahead spots. Could the Steelers look past the Bengals to the Packers? Ask Rodgers. I don't know. Is he thinking about the Packers? Who knows? The Panthers could look past the Jets to the Bills. Be aware of that. Short rest. Yeah, the Panthers are in a sandwich spot. Let down and look ahead right there. I don't want to touch the Jets, but that's what you get. Short rest. The Bears after Monday night hosting the Saints. The Commanders after Monday night at the Cowboys. The Falcons after Monday night at the 49ers. Long rest. The Giants after Thursday night at the Broncos. The Vikings off the bye hosting the Eagles. But the Eagles is on 10 days rest after the Thursday. Remember that. But the Vikings just have more rest in the bye. And the Texans after the bye at Seattle. Now it's time for our free play. We're going to give you, when it's wink, wink, Tulane, revenge spot against Army. It's a 10-point spread. I got a 9.5 here. There's some 9.5s out there, so I'm going to say 9.5. I like it at 10, though, if you need it. I don't like it as much at 10.5, but Tulane, big revenge spot for the American Athletic Conference Championship. Tulane hasn't been great against the run, but they've put up so many points it hasn't really mattered. Can Army control the clock? I don't think so. Tulane has played option teams in the past, and done well about them. They did blow out Navy last year, if you remember, and that was an option team. And Navy got better at the end of the season. They're just a very strange team. But, Tulane lost to Army in the championship game last year, if you remember. But, kind of going back a little bit, Tulane has won against option teams. And I like the fact that they have the extra day of rest. I think they kind of were kicking themselves with how they played against East Carolina. They probably should have scored a few more points. I think they take it out on the Black Knights. And I like Tulane minus 9.5 for 2 stars.
And so then I got a call from him saying we don't have to worry about money no more. And I said, that's good. One less thing.
All right, now it's time for a little fantasy football with our guy, D Nasty.
Come to DSW for the shoes, stay for the fun. Because let's be honest, if shoe shopping isn't fun, are you even doing it right? So go ahead, try something new. Try something different. Good different. Try something that feels like you. The real you. And then definitely brag about it later. Because at DSW, you've got unlimited freedom to play. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW. Let us surprise you.
If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans, help is here. More and more Americans turn to credit cards to get by. National Debt Relief is helping qualified clients reduce what they owe. For many, continuing to struggle making minimum monthly payments could take years to pay off. National Debt Relief has already helped over 550,000 Americans reduce their debt by negotiating directly with their creditors. When you call, you'll be amazed at how much you can save and how quickly you can become debt-free. If you want off the debt treadmill, visit nationaldebtrelief.com today. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may qualify for significant debt relief. To find out what savings you may qualify for, simply visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
All right, we got some fantasy football. D Nasty is back, and Dave, what you up to, man? You're not watching any baseball by chance, are you?
Oh yeah, watching my Brewers. It's still hard to watch right now. We can't get a hit. Freeman's going off on us, but yeah, it's nice that we're in the next round. It'd be nice to beat the Dodgers, but the team that they bought is pretty tough though, so it's going to be tough sledding, I think, against this team.
Living on borrowed money, my friend. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the only thing that I guess, as a Cubs fan, losing the Brewers is tough, but I will say the Brewers had more heart this year and definitely tried a lot harder, it seemed, in these big situations, and give them a lot of credit. It's kind of weird, though. It's like everyone's sick of the Dodgers, too. It's like baseball is worse than the NFL when it comes to that. But I'm also watching my Bears right now, and they can't seem to not have a penalty every time they have a movement. It's just very strange. But it's just scored, like Odunze just scored, and then all of a sudden illegal formation, and it's like Troy Aikman calls him out. He's like, no, that wasn't illegal. And there's nothing fucking illegal about it. I like Aikman. I'm glad he does that.
Yeah. Oh, that play yesterday by the Lions, actually, he didn't get set, but that was a pretty ridiculous play. Would you see the one where they threw it to Goff, or Montgomery threw it to Goff?
Yes, I did. It was the first drive, and it cost someone $500,000 because he had 5,000 on 90-1, or that Goff gets first touchdown. It was just
really,
yeah, it was absolutely insane. I mean, look, if you miss the call and you don't throw a flag, you can't go back and do it. You don't. Otherwise, why don't you do it for the whole freaking game? You know?
Yeah.
I'm all right. I can't keep going down that route. Bye weeks, Dave. Who we got?
I know what you're saying, though.
Who we got in the buys?
Only 2 buys this week, so it's a quiet week on buys again this week. 2 major teams, though. We got the Ravens, who we'll talk about here shortly with their quarterback situation. But definitely want to get Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. Those are going to be the major guys, and Lamar Jackson when he's back, but he's not back yet. So we'll talk about that here shortly, too, as well. But then we got the Bills. That's a powerhouse for fantasy purposes. Even though Dalton Kincaid didn't play this week, he was out, a late scratch. But him on your bench, Josh Allen.
They're
James
losing.
Cook, Ray Davis, potentially.
Man, they're going to lose 2 in a row here.
Keon Coleman.
They're going to lose 2 in a row.
What's that?
24-14 with a minute left. The Bills are down. They're going to lose 2 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Until Atlanta, too. I was shocked.
I bet Atlanta because of all the injuries on the defense. But if your offense is only putting up 14 points, dude, that's on your offense right there.
That is, definitely. Yeah, that's surprising. It's been the last loss, too, is a shocker as well. So, yeah, the Bills are struggling a little bit right now. But, yeah, those are the only 2 buys this week. Talking to the Bills. So, yeah, get all those Bills out of your line and all those Ravens out of your lineups this week.
Jesus, that guy was wide open. Now the Commanders pull ahead. Well, yeah, there is the Ravens was. I mean, I already had Lamar out of my lineups the past couple of weeks. You know, I mean, definitely Henry. But with Lamar out of the lineup, you probably have Trey Flowers out. You probably have Andrews out. You probably have a lot of guys.
Flowers, yeah.
Zay Flowers, right? So good call. Let's get into the key injuries here, and there's a few of them. Puka Nacua, Dave. That's kind of the bigger one, but it's not like season ending. It's week to week, I think, with that ankle. Emeka Ibuka, hammy, week to week, I would say. Tight end Mike Gesicki out for the Bengals with a pec injury. I don't know how long he's out, but he's out for a little while. And same with David Njoku with an injury. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks for the Packers with an ankle. Running back Blake Corum with an ankle. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson with a hyperextended knee. He's out a few weeks. And Calvin Ridley has a hammy for the Titans, who's not really if you're starting Calvin Ridley, it's not a good year for you. Wide receiver Darius Slayton for the Giants is also out with a hammy. Definitely the worst injury was another 49er this week. And holy cow, Dave, that was pretty gruesome. Broken ankle. The best linebacker, maybe the best linebacker, Fred Warner in the whole league, right? Or him and Roquan, I would say.
Yeah. I hate to see that. Yeah, Fred Warner is one of my favorite linebackers, one of my favorite IDP players. Great player too, like you said. It's hard to see that injury. So, and then Trey Hendrickson actually left too. He's another huge IDP guy. He left the game against the Packers too, and he didn't return. So that was another big injury this week as well. Cooper Rush got benched for Tyler Huntley, so Tyler Huntley is a speculative ad, but they're saying that Lamar Jackson should be back after their bye this week, so you should probably be able to plug Lamar back into most of your lineups after the bye, actually. So they said that he's going to be healthy. Amari DiMarcado left with an ankle injury. We'll talk about his backup, who had a pretty good week, that we'll look at picking him up possibly. And then you hit most of the major ones, actually, here. The Warner one is the biggest one on offense. On defense for sure. So, but yeah, I had most of the same ones as you, so you covered all the major ones. There wasn't pretty quiet on the injury front, other than the big Warner injury and the Puka injury. Those were the 2 major ones this week.
Yep. That's right. We kind of hit them then. Let's go to the waiver wire, Dave. Let's see here. What do you have for waivers?
All right, great. So Bryce Young, actually, another 3 touchdowns this week. If some of these possibly still out there by a chance on waivers, definitely scoop him up. He's scored at least 19.7 fantasy points against New York in 6 games, so he could be a low-end starter this week. And then Jalen Coker, who's actually coming back for him. He's been out 6 weeks with a quad injury, but they said that he's going to run with He's going to run with the starting offense though when he comes back. So speculative ad for him. A couple of Carolina Panthers for you. Mac Jones has actually been playing well with Purdy out, so speculative ad for him. If he's still out there too as well, definitely add him. Joe Flacco, he actually looks pretty good against the Packers. I was a little afraid of him in that first half when he kept leaving. Him and Chase were hooking up left and right. So
I had Packers in Survivor, man, and so did 50% of the nation. It was a little worrisome when it was down 6. I was at a Packer bar with my wife, and I wearing a Bears jersey. And I'm like, dude, I hate to tell you this. I'm kind of going for the Packers, otherwise I'm not a Survivor.
It's a good pick on your part, but yeah, I was sweating that out. So yeah, definitely add Flacco. He's going to be their starter going forward. So I like him as a pick. Carson Wentz, he should be starting after the bye. They're saying J.J. McCarthy still might not return. So some people might have dropped him out at the bye week, before the bye week. So definitely add him. Jacoby Brissett threw over 300 yards, and he actually kept them in the game the whole time. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 320 yards passing. So had a great day. He's got the weapons. One guy we didn't talk about, too, is Marvin Harrison Jr., actually, left with a concussion. He might not play this next week. So we'll talk about Zay Jones. This is the guy you want to pick up to replace him this week. Zay Jones came in and actually had a good week. Kamani Vidal, actually, your D-Nasty sleeper last week, had a great game, actually. He was the main guy, and Haskins wasn't, which was kind of a surprise. 142 rushing yards, 4 receptions for 15 yards, and a touchdown. So if no one picked him up last week, definitely grab him. Zonovan Knight, he's going to be the backup now behind Carter. He actually had a pretty good week this week. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 33 yards, and 45 yards rushing. So definitely add him. He could surpass Carter possibly, but if he doesn't, he's still going to get quite a few carries and looks. So he did this past week. Taj Spear, he actually is kind of taking over that backfield for Pollard now. He had more snaps this past week, a higher percentage on offensive snaps as well. So definitely look at adding him if possible. Emmanuel Wilson, just when Jacobs is resting, he's actually getting some carries now as well. A couple receivers here that I was talking about. Kashan Butte, some people might have dropped him. He was a huge ad the first couple weeks. He had a big game that first couple weeks. But now he stepped back up. He had another solid game, and Drake May is actually looking really well, too, lately. So definitely like him. And then Josh Downs, actually, he's been playing really well the last 2 weeks. These are his stats the last 2 weeks. 15 targets, 12 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. So definitely add him. Tutu Atwell, add him for the Puka Nuka injury. He's coming back this next week and will play. And they said he's going to take the majority of his carries. And then Zay Jones, like I was saying before, if Harrison doesn't play, definitely add him. And then they're saying, too, actually, the reports are saying that Christian Watson actually might be back this week 7. So they said he's been practicing. He said they might activate him for week 7. So definitely pick him up if you can. Well, you still can. Harold Fannin Jr., I like him for the Njoku injury. Definitely add him. He had a huge game after Njoku left, so definitely add him. Michael Meyer, we talked about him last week with Bowers out. He had a nice game as well. He had a touchdown this past week. Another guy we haven't talked about, Aronde Gadsden II. He had a really good game this past week, and he with Quinn Johnson out, he kind of stepped up, and he soaked up some of those targets that Quinn Johnson was getting. He had a nice game this past week.
All right. I have a lot of the same ones. Jordan Whittingham from the Nakua injury too. Tutu Atwell's coming back this week. Jalen Hyatt maybe for the Slayton injury. It's not like it's more of a speculative in a deeper league. Maybe just hold on to him. He was supposed to be good when he came out of Tennessee. He just hasn't really been. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds for the Garrett Wilson injury. Noah Fant for the Gesicki. Harold Fannin for the Njoku. Those tight ends. Jacoby Brissett. I mean, stash him. Murray's just, I don't know, man. I'm wondering if this was a revenge game for Brissett and Murray was kind of banged up and Murray took the week off. I don't know anything about that, but Brissett's interesting, especially if you're in a 2-quarterback league. Bryce Young, like you said, completely agree. The dude's been balling, man. He's probably worth owning and having as a backup. And he's got a pretty easy schedule, too, so that's always good. Kayshon Boutte, absolutely, Dave. Good call on that. I had him down right away. Lots of catches for Kayshon Boutte. And Hollywood Brown, I mean, he's in some waivers and 2 TDs.
Yeah, he's been looking good.
Tight end Michael Mayer as long as Brock Bowers is out. And Bowers could be that guy that's in and out every week to week. He could be this nagging injury. I think Mayer's a good second tight end. Josh Downs for the Colts has been more than relevant, and he's been fantastic as well. So I'm with you on all those. Sleepers, non-starters trending up for Week 7, and I'll start with Travion Henderson against the Titans is fun. Deebo Samuel against the Cowboys for sure, especially if McLaurin's still going to be out, right? Come on, Bears. Kenneth Gainwell against the Bengals. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers against the Bengals. But Dave, in 2 weeks, he plays the Packers.
I know, it's going to be a huge game. Huge game.
Can't wait. I know. Ashton Denty. I don't know if you're starting him or not, but against the Chiefs' run defense is still bad. I mean, he might be a good start against the Chiefs, to be honest. I don't know. It's tough with him. R.J. Harvey against the Giants, I think, will get a lot of running yards. Spencer Rattler against the Bears. Chris Olave against the Bears. Tight end Juwan Johnson against the Bears. Oh, Jesus. What a bad sack the Bears just took. And Caleb Williams against the Saints should be good. DJ Moore against the Saints should be good. Bryce Young at the Jets, Dave. Why not? I mean, it is a letdown spot, but Bryce Young balling out, and the Jets have been terrible. Panthers defense, too. Why not? Panthers defense. You know, we haven't had to say that in a while, but that defense has been improved. Wide receiver, Rashee Rice.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, definitely.
Rashee Rice. Don't forget about Rashee Rice. He's back in the lineup against the Raiders. That should be a big game for him. Get a bunch of yards. And then Kareem Hunt, of course, against the Raiders. Those are my non-starters trending up. Dave, who are yours?
Yeah, I like a lot of those as well. I like the Kenneth Gainwell and Rodgers. I like both of them against the Bengals. I had those two on mine as well. I like Spencer Rattler, and I think Alvin Kamara. I know he's a borderline starter right now, but I think he has a good game too. Kendra Miller could actually have a pretty good game too against the Bears. I like those matchups. I like Gabriel against the Dolphins. Dolphins defense hasn't done anything really this year. I like Gabriel against them and Junkins against both of those guys against that poor Dolphins D. I do agree with you on the Chiefs run D, and they're actually. I read a stat today too that they don't have very good coverage and very good defense against tight ends either. So I'm not putting Meyer in that conversation too. Genty and Meyer. I like Meyer against that Chiefs D too. They said they've given up touchdowns in the last couple of games to all the tight ends playing. So I like that matchup for them as well. I like the Panthers, like you said. Bryce Young, I like that. I like him. I like Jalen Coker too. I was talking about him before. I think with him coming back, I think Young's going to be even better. I think that he's going to be looking for Coker quite a bit. He liked him as a target last year. Drake May, he's borderline, almost a must start now going forward. He's been playing really well. I like Travon Henderson too, and Ramad Stevenson too. Both those guys, I think, could have some nice games against that poor Titans D. I like Harvey as well and Dobbins. Both those guys. Dobbins is probably a starter right now, but I like both of them. Marvin Mims even could have a pretty good game. And we haven't talked about him for a little bit. Or Troy Franklin. I think either one of those guys could maybe have a nice game against the Giants as well. I think they scored a lot of points. Jatamian Wicks, I think, could have and Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden actually had kind of a semi-breakout game this past week. I think he's only going to keep getting better, though, so I like him against that Cardinals D. So I say Golden and Wicks if he's healthy. He had that sprained ankle, but I like that. Commanders, I love that matchup against the Cowboys. Cowboys can't stop anybody right now. Their defense is just horrendous. Oh, my God. I like Debo this week for sure. I like Bill at running back. And then I like if McLaurin's back, but I don't think he's going to be back like you said. I think he's still going to be out. So definitely Debo. I like that matchup for him. 49ers D, they're a decent D, but with Warner out, I definitely like Ty Algier against them. He had a touchdown tonight as well, but I think he gets some too. That run D is going to suffer now with Warner out quite a bit, I think. So I like that matchup as well.
All right. Let's get to busts. I mean, I only have 6 busts because, Dave, to be honest with you, these defenses have been shit this year in the NFL. And
no easier way to put it.
Yeah, and so go ahead. I'm curious to what you have, but I don't have a lot. Oh.
Well, I still like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think they had a week off now and they rested with the poor Bengals offense coming in there. I don't like any of the Bengals this week. I don't like Brown. Chase is still a must start, but Higgins I think is Higgins is borderline.
I think the fact you have Flacco it really helped Chase owners, man.
Yeah, definitely did. But I think this week they're going to struggle a little bit against that. Steelers have a tough pass rush too, so Flacco can't move. So I don't like the Bengals this week really against him. You're still starting Chase, but other than that, I don't think you're starting any other Bengals. You're not touching them probably. The Rams D has actually been playing pretty well, so I'm saying I don't like Trevor Lawrence this week. I'm downgrading him. Travis Etienne, I think I'm downgrading him as well too. I think the Rams have a better defense than most people think, so I don't like that matchup. I don't like the Vikings this week against the Eagles. The Eagles have a good D. They're struggling a little bit lately though, but their defense has still been playing really well. I don't like Carson Wentz, or you're still starting Jefferson, just like Chase. You can't bench those; those are must starts. But I don't like Mason either against the Eagles. I don't like that matchup for them. Patriots have actually been playing well this lately, and the Titans struggle on offense. So you're probably not starting any Titans anyways. But I just don't like that matchup anyways. You're starting the Patriots D this week. You're streaming them probably this week for sure.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. You got the coach fired spot, which usually fires up the team so that they don't get the blame. And then you have the revenge spot for Vrabel.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then a couple other ones too. That's just a couple tough matchups here. The Lions against the Tampa Bay. I think those two teams are both good on offense, though. So, like you said, those defenses both have struggled a little bit. So I can't really say anything there. Texans though have a good defense, though. I think the Seahawks can struggle a little bit against there. I think their ground game maybe struggles a little bit against the Texans D. So probably Kenneth Walker and Cabernet maybe struggle a little bit. JSN's still going to get his. All those top-notch receivers are still starting, but Donald could struggle a little bit too against that Texans D.
For sure. All right. My busts are I'm going to go DeAndre Swift against the Saints. I think the Saints' run D is good. It's just their pass D is bad.
Yeah, they're still good.
Saquon Barkley against the Vikings, man. What happened to Saquon this year? He's really tough. You probably have to start him. It's not like a bust, but man, it's just not looking good for the Eagles. Sam Darnold against the Texans, I think, is dangerous. Texans coming off the bye. Jackson Dart at the Broncos. I don't like that one at all. And, that coach there, Dayball, he's going to get him hurt the way he's running him constantly. It's just the way he's getting hit. Oh, it's ugly every time. I cringe every time I see it. Let's see here. Daniel Jones at the Chargers is also kind of suspect. The Chargers have pretty good D. And
that's a good one.
And they have to rely on their D, and they're going to run the ball a lot. I just don't like Danny Jones a lot this week. Josh Jacobs too at the Cardinals is very suspect. Geno. I don't think you're starting Geno, but Geno at the Chiefs, that don't look good.
No.
And I would say pretty much any Raiders receivers. I do like their tight ends more, like you did, but the Geno and the receivers is probably not good. That's all I have.
Yeah, and I agree with you too on the Chargers one. I don't like Daniel Jones too, and then Dart's probably going to struggle a little bit against that tough Broncos D too. But that leads us into the D-Nasty Sleeper of the Week. You want to go first?
Sure. I got the Mike Vrabel revenge game. Kayshon Boutte, my friend, against the Titans. That's who I'm going with.
All right, I was going to actually go Drake May, but I'm going to go Bryce Young. Bryce Young has actually been improving every week here. He's coming off a 3-touchdown game against that poor Dallas D. Jets D is not much better, so I'm going with Bryce Young actually this week as my D-Nasty Sleeper.
Love it. Let's go Bryce Young this week. I like it, man. That's good stuff. No trade questions. So there you go. We got no trade questions this week. That's all right. Everyone's just focused on all these all the football games going on. Anything we miss?
No, I don't think so. You just make sure you get those couple bye week players out this week. And good luck, everyone, this week.
Yes, best of luck. Make sure you get your buys out and your guys coming back in. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you have questions for us, feel free to tweet us at The Oddsbreakers. Email us at info@theoddsbreakers.com. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend and go get some winners.